Awesome. So I know this is a little weird because I'm driving, but I just had these thoughts in my head I wanted to kind of get out. Look, I haven't really, again, I know I've been a little lax at posting updates about my thyroid situation. About 2 months ago, my primary care doctor, who's been treating me forever, had to leave the state. So I'm on state insurance right now. I had to find a new primary care, and when I went in, he asked some legitimate questions, looked over my list of medications, which includes a lot of supplements. After I had gastric bypass in 2016, so I was on like biotin and bariatric supplements and things like that. And then in 2019, I had my thyroid taken out in November, and so ever since I've had my thyroid out, I've never really felt quite right. But this new doctor I went to wanted to see about, looked at my meds and was kind of like, I see you have all your labs here and your history, but they might not be entirely reliable because some of the vitamins you take interact with your thyroid medication and can cause some issues. And so we can't really trust what your labs have said, possibly. And so that got me thinking, and he went over the list of meds, and we got rid of like half of them. I changed up my multivitamin and decided that it actually made me feel hopeful because I've been on Armour Thyroid as my thyroid replacement hormone since I had my thyroid out in 2019, because I wanted a full thyroid replacement, and I was on a pretty high dosage, which I guess after talking to people is actually pretty normal. I was on anywhere from 195 to 215 milligrams of Armour Thyroid at any regular period. And so I was still, my labs were coming back being hypo, instead of leveled out or hyper. So I was just always tired, had issues. Well, I saw that doctor once, and then I moved across town and I had to see yet another doctor. So I have a new primary care who is also kind of working with me to find, so it's my face, I apologize, but who's working with me to try to level this out. So about 4 weeks, about a month ago, I switched from Armour Thyroid to levothyroxine, about 75 micrograms, I think, is the dosage right now. And I did effectively notice a big difference, and it could be any number of things, because again, it's only been a month, and it can often take 6 weeks or longer before your body even sort of adjusts to these major medications you take, especially for the thyroid hormones. So anyway, I did notice some changes, but I also have had trouble with intracranial hypertension most of my life too. And so it's hard to say if some issues I've been having, really kind of feeling discombobulated. I'm sure some of that is the medication and my body adjusting to it, but also adjusting to for the last few months I hadn't been really working and busy, and now I'm busy and back to doing things again and trying to feel like a human being in this world. And I think I'm doing okay. I don't feel like I've been overly erratic, but anyway, so today I had a follow-up appointment. I had labs done a few days ago, and I'm still hyper, and that's just on levothyroxine. So the numbers kind of still look about the same. They were a little better before I switched from Armour Thyroid to just the levothyroxine, but again, this is just the first dosage of that. Well, after talking to my doctor today, I had looked up a medication that I thought would be something to try called a Thyrlar or Lotrix or something like that, and they don't make it anymore, but basically it was another option that combined both levothyroxine and a T3 levothyronine 9 or something. Anyway, T3 and T4, much like Armour thyroid, except for it was synthetic and not like a desiccated pig hormone. So I was curious to try that. However, they don't manufacture that anymore. So we decided that instead of taking me off of the levothyroxine, that we would add in T3 as well. And I'm going to try that for about a month and see how I feel. In talking with my sister, who's a nurse and also shares some thyroid issues, we have both our we're both hypothyroid. And you know, we kind of go back and forth on how we each take care of ourselves and the different things we go through. And she was telling me that there's good studies out there that talk about just taking a T3 replacement and not using levothyroxine or T4. And I'm really interested in that, but I kind of want to feel this out first, like this plan of action first, and see how it goes. I'm really truly hopeful that I can figure something out or get on the right dosage of a medication that will at least kind of help me feel like stable again, because I'm up and down, anxious, not anxious, erratic sometimes, and I'm catching it more, but I still would like to get to a point where I can, not have to be playing like what medication's going to make me feel good today, you know, and eventually get off like the antidepressant and things like that, and or just find other alternate methods of treating this. However, on insurance I can get the medications I can get, and I have to take them the rest of my life. So it's a weird balance trying to figure out the best course of action, because unfortunately with these sort of autoimmune issues, well, any autoimmune issues, everyone's going to have a different reaction to different medications. My course of treatment is not going to be the same as someone else's. And I've also noticed that I'm having some puffiness around my eyes again, and I don't know if that's the change in the weather. I don't know if that is the change in my medication and my thyroid hormones. And so I'm trying to not go down a rabbit hole thinking that there's other things wrong when I don't want to exacerbate or stress about something until I can tell what it might be related to, because it could just be some seasonal allergies going from summer to fall and the weather starting to cool down and still be warm during the day, like that fluctuation in weather and temperatures. You know, it's really hard to put a fine pinpoint on like what is causing what's making me feel this way, or why am I feeling this way, as much as trying to just like see how I feel and then see what I've changed in that period of time that could be exacerbating how I feel, you know. So I'm just still playing like day to day, like how do I feel, what have I changed, what can I change, and what can I do to just find myself a little bit more energy throughout the day to like get by. And that is really about it. I saw my neuro-ophthalmologist last week, and my vision has gotten a little worse, but overall, like the thyroid eye disease, at least for now, is like stabilized. Well, as stabilized as it can get until it flares up again. But I'm also paying attention to my eyes and the possibility that it's either allergies or my Graves' eye disease acting up on top of this change in my medications and hormones. So it's a lot to try to be self-aware about and stay on top of, but I am doing my absolute best. And I just like to kind of share this stuff because I know other people go through these journeys, and you know, sometimes it's just nice to like know that you're not alone in dealing with like the consistent inconsistency of medical care that we have to go through. And you know, it is really just a practice, and hoping that we can find those best practices that help in our situation can sometimes be a really difficult process to go through and a hard journey to learn from. And we just have to have grace with ourselves and do our best and try to, you know, stay positive going forward. And it's been a crazy weird year, a a lot of people, young people, lost to unnecessary or sad circumstances, and it's just been hard learning from that, learning to try to be more positive and not take it so much for granted. It's hard to do it all and be it all and figure out still how to, stay on top of things at the end of the day and move forward. But it's a work in progress, as everything in development. I appreciate anybody who listening or any comments that anybody might have, and I hope that just kind of hope that these videos help. And thanks for listening and watching during my fun commute. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.